So in 2018, I had my blood drawn for health tests, and I went to the doctor to discuss the results with him. Now, I had been having some burning feelings in my penis. As it turned out, those were due to urinary tract infection. I didn't know it at the time. And when I got to the doctor, he pointed that out on the test. So I'm going to show those to you. And this is the 2018 blood test. There's my name. And the way these work is that on these tests, there's what's called, the results are either in range. So for each test, you can see on the left the name of the test. And then if the results are in range, well, on the far right it'll tell you the range that would be acceptable or healthy. So for example, on that cholesterol total, I'm in range because I'm 165 and it should be less than 200. So the in-range results are there, reading down that column, and then out-of-range results you can see. So there I've got 3 in-range results and 1 out-of-range. The out-of-range ones are a concern. For example, this LDL cholesterol should be less than 100, but you see I'm at 101, so it's a little high. The less than 100 is right there, and I'm at 101. So a lot of my results are in range, a few are out of range. At that time my weight was about 168, and that's about in the middle of normal for the BMI, and that gave me a BMI of about 22. So we're going to the second page. By the way, if you do metric, 168 pounds is about 76 kilos. So on the second page we see most of my results are in range, but then we get to the urinalysis and we see, particularly on the leukocyte esterase, that's quite out of range because that should be a negative number, but I've got a 3 positive. So that was the doctor's primary indicator that I had a urinary tract infection. And if we continue, we see a few other results out of range and some in range. And then when we go to the PSA, we see it's just a touch out of range. It should be less than or equal to 4.0, but it's a 4.1. Now, when the doctor discussed these results with me, he said that a urinary tract infection was a real concern, and some bad things could happen. I could get sick, I could end up in the hospital, or I could die. And he wanted to prescribe antibiotics for me, but I didn't want to take them immediately. But what happened was that when he described these possible results, my stomach was really upset. Like psychologically, I was upset to know that I had this, that it could have some bad results. And I didn't feel like eating, so I just didn't eat. I mean, I eat occasionally, but I cut back. And it was it worked out. I kind of have the belief that a person, if they don't feel like eating, they shouldn't eat, that their body is trying to tell them something. So I cut back on my eating. My weight dropped by about 12 or 13 pounds. Metrically, that would be about 70 kilos. My height, by the way, is about 6'2", which might be about 187 centimeters. And my weight dropped to 155 and my symptoms went away. So I was really relieved because I thought that means probably the urinary tract infection is gone. And and so I just maintained at 155, and it was pretty easy, and I actually felt better emotionally as well, being a lighter weight. And then I learned a few more things about keeping my weight down, and I dropped to 147. That's about 66.5 kilograms. So at 147, I just had blood drawn again, and I went to the doctor and got the results, or actually it was a phone appointment because of the corona. And this time I actually had perfect results, and I'll show you those. So there I am again, and you can see the date is 2020. So I'm going to just show you, this time all the results are in range. So you see the out of range, you see in range, and there's nothing that's out of range. It's all good. I'm going to page 2. You see everything's in range. We're going to the urinalysis. We see everything's in range. If you recall, I had that 3+ number on the leukocyte esterase right there on the left. And 3+ is bad. 1+ is kind of bad, 2+ is more bad, and 3+ is pretty bad. But now it's negative like it should be, so it's in range. And as we go down, we see everything's in range. Let's see, let me go back. I wonder, the thing about the PSA, sometimes that's a marker of prostate cancer. If you recall, on the 2018 test, mine was a tiny bit out of range. The doctor said that might indicate prostate cancer, but he wanted me to clear up the urinary tract infection first, because that could skew the PSA results. But you see now, with my weight loss, instead of being at 4.1, which put me a little out of range, I'm now at 0.4. So that's really good. And then page 3 is everything's in range. And page 4, everything, well, let's see, this, I don't know, this is a little different. So that result should be 32/100, and I'm at 34. HIV is non-reactive, hepatitis is non-reactive. So, I thought that might interest people if they have a urinary tract infection. A way to possibly get rid of it is to lose weight. I have kept that weight off. Well, part of it, as I say, was the upset stomach and the fear, the not wanting to take antibiotics if I could avoid it. Because I tend to think most medications have side effects that are unpleasant. But I've also learned a couple of techniques that make it easier. Once I saw that it was a good thing to keep my weight down, I thought about how can I do this. And I've learned a couple of techniques I may share in a future video, but I don't want to overload this video. I just want to show you that losing weight helps with a urinary tract infection, and probably helps with a lot of other health problems as well. My current BMI would probably be about a 19 or 19.1. That's still in the normal range, but it's at the low end. There's a pretty large range for normal on the BMI. Before I was kind of in the middle and I had the infection. Now I'm kind of at the low end of normal. Before I was in the middle of normal. Now I'm at the kind of at the low end, and the infection went away. I'll probably link, I did look online, and there was a study done by National Institutes of Health where they did find that losing weight helped reduce urinary tract infections. They had two groups of women, both who had urinary tract infections. They helped one group lose weight, and they left the other group at their beginning weight. And the people in the first group, their urinary tract infections went away or decreased. So that kind of supports my experience, and my experience supports that study. In this time of quarantine, as a faster or someone who's lighter weight, I feel less vulnerable to catching corona. So that might be an inducement to lose weight. As a quick little diet tip, I can tell you on my fast, I don't even drink water in the times when I'm when I'm trying to keep my weight down. I shouldn't call it a fast. It's not a fast. It's just my normal everyday eating style. But there are blocks of time when I wouldn't even drink water. I'll probably do a longer video on how to keep weight down. But that's it for now.